This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is Vanessa Marshall, Harrison Dula from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi.
Joining us today for a cup of coffee are two brand new guests to Coffee with Kenobi, but they're certainly not new to those of you who love all things Disney. First, we're going to bring in, I wrote this down so I can get it correct, the owner of the Disney food blog, AJ Wolfe. AJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kenobi Dan.
Yeah, that's apparently how she has me listed in her contacts. Right?
Helps me remember. Got a lot of Dans in there. This clarifies this particular Dan.
Seems prudent. Well, it's great to have you on the show. We met the night before our little voyage because Lucasfilm invited us to a special little get-together soiree, and you were talking, and I recognized your voice. I was like, wait a minute. And then you said your name, like, whoa, that was that podcast I love so much. And you were I think you were happy, and I'm glad because I really was a really fun podcast that I really enjoyed. So that was cool that worked out that way. I honestly thought when you two were sitting over there, I thought you were both Disney execs.
Oh, hey,
wow.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
We are not. But I do have a cup of coffee. Well, I have a cup of tea here. Is tea allowed on Coffee with Kenobi? Is that cool?
Tea is allowed.
Okay.
Who also is
drinking
allowed
drinking it out of a Honey Dukes mug, which may be just too many fandoms.
That's all right. It's allowed. Okay. Also joining us with allears.net is Molly McCormack. Molly, welcome to Coffee with Kenobi.
Thank you. And for the record, I have you as Dan Z Coffee W Kenobi in my phone. So a lot of words.
That's good. I just have both of your names. We all got to experience a Galactic Starcruiser together on the media voyage. So we were among the first people to experience this 2-night, 3-day event that are not purely all Disney cast members. So overall, ladies, if you were to give this thing a letter grade, give me your letter grade and just overall impressions / reactions. AJ, we'll start with you.
Oh, great. Letter grade. Oh, see, you're a teacher. I get it. Letter grade for.
Do you want to marinate and I can let Molly step up?
Yep.
You're a processor. I get it. Molly?
Okay, I want to take the price tag out of this equation.
You can't take the price. What?
You know what? Why don't we just address the price tag first? Because that is the thing I'm getting the most questions about.
Can we give the price tag a letter grade? Can we do that?
We can.
I think the price tag is a needs improvement, NI.
Would you care to expand on that?
I fall into the group of folks that says if this was a grand or two lower, I'd be all in. But I do feel like it's a little high priced for what I experienced. But Molly may feel differently.
Okay.
I have come away realizing that a lot of people say, you could go to a week of Disney World for this amount of money, or you could go on a cruise or something. And I've come to realize the question isn't, do you want to go on this type of vacation or that type of vacation? The question is, do you want to go on vacation or do you want to go on a 2-night murder mystery interactive escape room experience? Like, I wouldn't even call this a vacation. It's just, do you want to spend your money on a vacation or on this experience? I do think it's high, but I had what I would consider a perfect experience aboard the Starcruiser. I was very involved in the missions. I bought it immediately. I'm also a huge escape room. I've hosted like 10 murder mystery dinner parties at my house. I am the person that this was made for. So I think if I had that experience again, I would not have thought I overpaid, but I also would have struggled to pay that much to begin with.
I respect that.
Yeah.
So I get this question. Besides, is it fun? That's the question I get. And I talked about this a lot on show 500. But to me, is it worth the money? Yeah, it is to me, because I had a great time with my family. I think the important thing to point out about this, it is a premium price for a premium experience. I've been a lot of places, and I've never done anything that is this particularly grounded in family entertainment. There's collaboration, there's teamwork. The murder mystery / escape room thing is actually quite apt. I hadn't thought about that before. And we, like Deanna, my wife, as you all know, she's not a big Star Wars fan, but she just wanted to experience it with us. She had a blast. She had an absolute blast. Now, she did say it's a one and done for her, but she said that she doesn't disparage anybody from wanting to do it again because it's so much fun. As far as the cost goes, look, it is expensive, but so is a Disney World vacation. So is a trip to Europe. So is a trip to Hawaii. So is a whatever. It's not a relaxing experience. It's an exhausting experience, but in the best way possible. We had a blast. I can't wait to do it again. I am going to do it again, but I'm going to budget for it. I'm going to save for it. I can't tell anybody how to spend their money or their dime or where they want to go on their vacation. If you're a little bit skeptical about it, you're not sure, then don't go. Other people would be happy to go in your stead. I think the focus on is it too much money? Is it worth it? How could you know unless you've done it? We've all done it. We all have different sort of interests or proclivities in how we like to spend our dime. So that's good that we have different perspectives on this itself.
Agreed. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that people are taking, I'm glad that we are able to give sort of a balanced view on this. And I think that there are a lot of folks online who maybe aren't giving a balanced view. But that's what we get up in the morning to do around here, is to tell people not if it's good or bad, but who it's for. Who does this make sense? Who does this experience make sense for? Who's going to be able to spend that money and not regret that they spent that money? Because that's a big thing we talk about a lot with Disney vacations in general, is the last thing you want to do is stretch your budget to the point that you have a horrible time because all you're doing is thinking about how much money you're spending. And every little tiny thing that goes wrong is going to cause you to be, extremely regretful and have buyer's remorse. So if you fall in that camp, take an extra couple of years and save a little bit longer so you can genuinely enjoy this regardless of what your experience is, and not be like, oh, I didn't get to see this particular event on the ship, or I didn't get to do this particular, because you cannot do it all. It's impossible. So if, something's going to go wrong, and if you're going to freak out because you spent that money and something didn't happen exactly how you wanted it to, then that's going to be a problem.
I absolutely agree. I think the most important question that you have to ask yourself before deciding if the Starcruiser is for you, and AJ and I talked a lot about this, is not, because the question we got a lot, I don't like Star Wars, am I going to like this? Or I'm not a big Star Wars fan, am I going to like this? And to me, the ultimate question wasn't, do you like Star Wars or not? It's, do you like immersive experiences? Again, like escape rooms, like murder mystery parties. If you walk out of an hour escape room and thought, I wish that was 44 more hours, this is an experience you might like. And I'm that person. So I've, already talked to some of my very good friends that do escape rooms all together, and we're already talking about, should we do this, because we would love it as a group and this would be the target audience. So when people are trying to decide whether or not it's worth it to them, I think they need to decide, do I like those kind of experiences? Will I throw myself into the action? Will I buy into this adventure I'm on? Or am I going to try and sit on the sidelines and think it's cheesy, or think it's not, if you don't want to run around and be hiding Chewbacca and talking to people, then it's not probably going to be worth it for you. But if you, at the end of 2 nights, have thrown yourself into this adventure, then I think it could very well be worth an experience that you do.
And I think a lot of folks, I think it's very important to note that whether this is for Star Wars fans or not for Star Wars fans is kind of a moot point, because the Star Wars doesn't have a whole lot to do with it. And, your listeners might totally disagree with me, but I feel like the game is what's important. You can overlay anything on top of that game. You can make a Harry Potter one of these, you can make a Marvel one of these, and I'm sure that's why they're trying this experiment. And it could be exactly the same framework, and you just have a different bad guy. And so I feel like someone who doesn't love Star Wars is going to be just fine here, or your particular listeners do love Star Wars. If they have spouses or if they have kids who don't really care about it, it's not problematic. If they go, they will still probably love it if they love games. Again, I don't love games. I don't love escape rooms. I don't like to do anything that I don't win. So it's just not for me. And so it's a one and done for me as well. It's not something that I need to go back to because it stresses me out and I have anxiety when I do stuff like this. Molly is the complete opposite for me. She loves that stuff. So I think the gaming piece of it is the most important piece of it, rather than the Star Wars piece.
You know, I was thinking about that too. I don't think you need to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy it. Scott Trowbridge told me this is for Star Wars fans and people who love Star Wars. And I think that's a great description because you don't like, obviously I've got a lot of passion and insights into how Star Wars works and mythology and the structure of the storytelling aspects. And it's there, but it's also allows you to, I think the brilliance of this is the organic way that they get people who are extroverted or introverted to buy in and want to be a part of this. As soon as you get your new Magic Band, they say, get ready to play. Something along the lines of it's time, get ready to play, get ready to have fun. And that's what this is about. We also described it in my family as Vegas for families, because you don't really ever see the sun unless you go to the climate simulator or when you go to Hollywood Studios on Batuu.
There's no clocks anywhere. You don't know what time it is.
There's no clocks. You're up all hours of the night. If you have Mason with you, you want to play sabacc all the time. And then we kept the portal open all night long. So every time I woke up one time at 3 a.m, I thought, oh, there's the sun. I better get up. And I looked at my clock and it was 3 a.m. I'm like, what? Because you really have no sense of it. And that's another nice perk of this too, is it really does put your cares away. Matt Martin of Lucasfilm said to me, I was here during Valentine's Day and during the Super Bowl, and I had forgotten about all of that stuff because you just kind of get submerged into this immersive experience. I feel like this is the immersion that we were promised on Batuu, but we never fully got.
Yeah, kind of. That's basically what happens.
Yeah, I think it being Star Wars helped me buy in faster because it was a franchise I'm familiar with, but I agree that it could have been overlaid with it could have been, like AJ said, Harry Potter or Marvel or Jurassic Park. It could have been yellow versus blue. And if it was this immaculately presented, I would have been like, yes, go team yellow. We are going to get the blue.
Yeah, like I was so
into it.
The other day. She's like, go team yellow. Like, I don't care. Who am I with? Let's go.
But I do think I think it being Star Wars helped me buy in faster because it's a universe I'm familiar with. But the way they pulled it off and the way they do it and the way that those interactions happen, both in person with characters and on your data pad, and you're tapping things and rooms are opening, and like it could have been anything. And I think I would have been that into it.
I don't think I would have. I do think the Star Wars part is a big part of it for me. Of course, that's a big part of it. But I would be open to the experience because I feel like, yes, being a Star Wars fan makes a massive difference in some of the emotional beats and the music and some of the atmosphere. And none of it is kitschy. I feel like it's extraordinarily well themed. I mean, it's Disney, so you would expect that. But I feel like it's also for people who just like theme park experiences as well. Team Yellow and Team Blue wouldn't have worked for me. But Resistance versus First Order, yes. But I appreciate what you're saying there, Molly.
So the question that I have for you is, because I'm getting a lot of comments on my YouTube video of people saying to me, this is for Star Wars fans who love Disney. This is not for Star Wars fans. So what's your take on that? Like, people are basically saying, if you are a real Star Wars fan, you will hate this.
See, the term, when you put real and Star Wars fan into a sentence, that tends to create mutinous reactions from people. If I understand this correctly, I feel like there is a select small percentage of Star Wars fans who, when Disney purchased Star Wars, they had concern that Star Wars is going to lose its way. Because to me, critical thinking and intellectual honesty are paramount to be a solvent critic. You know, if you say no sometimes, it makes your yes have more weight. I don't love everything Star Wars. I've been very public about that for the almost 9 years of Coffee with Kenobi. But I do love this.
No, and I figured that's what you would say, but I was very interested in how you're handling that, because, you know, Molly and I, we do Disney, and there are there are Disney fans who want Disney to be a specific way, and if they try anything else, it's, you know, this is anathema. This is not who Disney is. Like Minnie wearing pants. I mean, Walt is consistently rolling over in his grave all the time, and so we have certain ways that we handle comments. Yeah. From folks who are very frustrated and upset about the direction that Disney is going. And so I figured you had a pat answer to kind of because I'm sure this is something you manage all the time in terms of the different personalities in your audience.
Right. And it's not a pat answer as in like it's a push button one. It's just like, it's just the truth. You know what I mean? It's just an organic way to respond. I mean, you don't have to like everything. And I love when people have different points of view from me or other Star Wars fans, because I think that you can learn more about each other if you try to find different ways to look at the world. But if you're just determined to hate everything for the sake of hate, then this has much to do with love, but less to do with hate, as Shakespeare would say. You just like to hate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in that.
I don't want to do spoilers. I don't know if you're doing
No,
spoilers.
we're not.
I don't want to do spoilers, but there was a very small mission I went on, and something very cool with a character I did not expect to make an appearance happened. And I was crying my eyes out, because by that point I was so bought into the story, and to see this character appear was like, I had no idea that would happen. And you're right, the emotional attachment of seeing that character and what that character said to me, I was literally sobbing. And I think that's because they kind of surprised me. They weren't there the whole time.
And we talked about this a lot on the actual Galactic Starcruiser. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to give our top 5 favorite food and drinks from the Galactic Starcruiser. This is Coffee with Kenobi.
This is Vanessa Marshall, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi.
We are back. Now we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite food and drink options from the Galactic Starcruiser. So, AJ, we'll have you go second so you can marinate, if you will, on your decision.
I told you I have notes, Dan.
You have notes. Okay, you can go first. Do you want to go first?
No, that's okay. I'll go second because I want to see what Molly says and what you say, and change my answer accordingly if necessary.
Interesting. Yeah, we may have some overlap, but that's okay because we're going to explain them differently. They're going to land for different reasons. So, Molly, go ahead and give us your 5th favorite.
My 5th favorite is I'm kind of cheating a little bit, Dan, because I wanted to say more food than 5 because I really liked the food.
We can do honorable mentions. We'll do honorable mentions.
But my number 5 is just all the pizzas. All the pizza.
Really?
My favorite was probably the breakfast pizza, but like AJ said, we do Disney a lot. And one thing Disney does terribly is quick service pizza. The like round puffy pizzas from Pizza Rizzo and Pizza Fari are notoriously on my not my fave. I just don't. They're on my skip list. Oh, they're always on my don't eat list.
There is one on the kids menu. The first night has a puffy pizza, so that's the one pizza that does not fit into this.
Yeah, but all the pizzas that you pull off of the buffet, they had a breakfast pizza on day 2. They had a pizza that had like masala Indian curry flavors with paneer cheese. They had one with pesto. They were all great. The crust was awesome. And I talked to one of the chefs, Chef Brian. He said they have on the Halcyon a wood fire pizza oven, and that's why they're all so good, because they're doing it right there. So all the pizzas, because 1, it was pizza, so I feel like everybody would like it, but 2, they used a lot of kind of unusual flavors, like again paneer cheese and masala chicken, and they were awesome. So that's my number 5.
Yeah, I feel like it would be hard to create. I mean, every time they open a new restaurant or a new experience, there's always going to be new foods, and they always try a lot of different things because everybody doesn't want hamburgers and pizza and bologna or whatever you would get. Ugh. So that, I think that's an interesting challenge we all talked to the chefs about, and it's interesting to see. That's a good one. I know Mason, as I said, was a big fan of all the pizzas. The breakfast pizza was particularly good. AJ, what about you? What's your number 5?
Okay, my number 5, and I have taken pizza off my list because I do love the pizzas too, but my favorite pizza will go into a honorable mention. But my number 5 are the asteroid bites, which are the little chocolate cookies with Rice Krispies on them. They're not Rice Krispie treats. They're like no-bake chocolate cookies with Rice Krispies on them. They were a snack that you can get on the little snack counter on the second day.
Oh, I didn't have that.
And I basically counted the number that I stole today, and I have about 10 of them that I stole and brought home. So they're excellent, and you don't miss them, please.
Well, now we know why I didn't try them, because you took them all.
I didn't take them all. Just every time I passed, I grabbed one or two more and I put them in my bag. So I never took them all. They were all available in there, and they should have given you one in your car when you left. There was when we left the Starcruiser and they brought our car around, they gave us little bottles of water and a little asteroid bite in a little cellophane bag with and that was kind of a parting gift that was in our car when we left. So.
Oh, that was really nice. We were on the bus because we ordered the contemporary, so that's why I didn't get that. Or maybe because you took them all. Oh, good. All right. So my number 5. Okay. We were uncertain of the official name of this. I thought it was dipped tip yip chicken. What did you guys say that it was?
I said it was tip yip with noodle cheese.
Noodle cheese.
Any way you slice it. It's chicken, it's noodles, it's butter, it's cheese. It's fabulous. I loved it. It's probably just a glorified kids meal with chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, but I loved it. And I kept going, this is good. I was slurping it up. If they would have had it every single day, I would have had it every. But I think it was only lunch on that
day
was
one.
It the first day. Day one, yeah, it's the only
time.
But I thought it was great.
Yeah,
so good.
I loved it. It kind of set the standard for me. But it's only my number 5. But I thought it was terrific. I definitely am craving that for the next time.
It's very good.
I actually went to the chef and I asked them to give me a little cup of the cheese sauce so that I could put more of it onto my noodles. Because I think the more cheese sauce you have, I call it plastic cheese in my fandom. That's what I call it. Because I don't think there's any real food in plastic cheese, like the nacho cheese that you get, But so all liquid cheeses become plastic cheese for me. But I asked for a little extra cup of it to make sure that there was ample plastic cheese on my spaghetti noodles. But it was amazing.
It's great.
So
it's great. It's I think it's better than Kraft mac and cheese. I don't know if that's a compliment, but it is to me.
It spoiled my favorite meal at Docking Bay 7, which is the tip yip with the mac and cheese there. And now I'm going to be sad because I would prefer my tip yip to come with the noodle cheese.
Noodle cheese. Mm-hmm.
Noted. That's good. I know I've never had that at Docking Bay 7. Molly,
eventually, Dan, I will go to Docking Bay with you and we will eat food there.
Yep.
All right. It's a deal. All right, Molly, you're number 4.
All right, well, I'm keeping the cheese thing going, but we're moving to the Sublight Lounge because my number 4 was the smoked cheese in cloche, which is like the cloud that they bring you. They bring you a platter of 3 spreadable cheeses, and it's like in one of those domes, and they lift it up right when it's served to you. So it's this smoky cheese board, basically, and it was awesome. And I should note, cheese is my favorite food. I always am seeking out the cheesiest, most delicious items. And this was such a good lounge bite with those 3 like cheese balls, basically. But they were all different flavors. One had jalapeno, one had bacon, one was a goat cheese. Like, they were awesome. And the presentation.
I was feeling that
really
might
cool.
come up later. The presentation, when they open that thing up, everyone, when we were first in the Sublight Lounge, everyone around us was saying, "What's that? What's that? Is something on fire? Something smells delicious." And you just kind of figure out, everybody kind of like, "Ooh, what are they having?"
And it pairs great with a fiery Mustafarian, which was my favorite cocktail. So
when I first smelled that smoke, it kind of smelled like incense,
Absolutely.
the incense.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, there's something in there that's frankincense like. My number 4 is they just called it crispy tuber waffle, but they called a lot of things crispy tuber waffle, which by the way is just like a hash brown. Okay. So this is the crispy tuber waffle with, hold on, I got it written down. Crispy tuber waffle with applewood smoked bacon, cheddar egg bite, and egg butter sauce. And that was the first breakfast. So day 2 breakfast.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
And it was a little, they used these tuber waffles, these hash browns are their version of French fries basically on the ship. And you had that with a little cheddar egg situation on top, and then bacon. And then the egg butter sauce is what sold it, right? I even asked Chef Pasecki, he's like in charge of R&D basically and makes all the menus for these new places. He used to be, in case you guys don't know, he used to be the executive chef at California Grill for many, many, many years.
Oh, nice.
And he's the one who actually brought tater tots onto the menu at California Grill, and that's when I knew we would be friends. But he now is, so he developed the food for Galaxy's Edge, and he developed the food for this. And I did tell him, I did apologize in advance to him for our treatment of blue shrimp, and because I knew what would be coming, and I said I was sorry. But anyway, this is delicious, and I asked him specifically about that sauce because I said, "What is that exactly?" He said, "It's just basically a spicier kind of hollandaise, not spicy, but it's got different flavors in it. But it's basically a hollandaise. But it was excellent. It was really, really good, and I wanted more of that sauce. I'm a sauce fan, so
that was one of Deanna's favorites as well, and it's delicious. The breakfast, I think breakfast might be the overall best.
Breakfast was A+.
I'm a breakfast person anyway, but there's some great breakfast there. That's a good call. All right, my number 4 is exactly like Molly's. The smoked cheese, and how do you pronounce it?
I said
encloche.
I said encloche.
It means
encloche.
Like a cloche is that
cloud, right?
Is that dome? No, it's that
dome thing?
It's not cloud. Cloche is, what does cloche mean?
The dome-shaped cover, like the actual thing that lifts up is the dome.
A small translucent cover for protecting or forcing outdoor plants? No. Anyway, there you go.
It's delicious. And I believe...
Don't eat the
Did you guys recommend this to me? I don't remember.
I think so. I was on the lookout for all the cheese, so it's possible that I said don't skip on the cheese in the lounge.
It's phenomenal. And it actually, and all the different cheeses are so good. The presentation is outstanding. One of the cooler things probably in the Galactic Starcruiser itself. And they're actually something you can mix it with that I'm going to talk about later in my top 5.
Oh.
But you can't go wrong with this. It is a crowd pleaser. It's just a perfect little snack. I mean, the Sublight Lounge is my favorite place in the Galactic Starcruiser anyway. I could have hung out there the entire time. I basically did because of Sabak, but also because it's just a really fun, very casual and hip atmosphere I absolutely loved. And this smoked cheese is a big reason for that.
Yeah. It fixed my anger with the cheese board in Oga's. So this is
we'll have to have you both on for we'll break down Oga's and Docking Bay 7. All right, let's go to number 3. Molly, what's your number 3?
Okay, I'm cheating again. I have a tie for number 3 because I couldn't decide. These were both from lunch day 1. And it was I want to make sure I say it right, the grilled cheese takeaway and red fruit dipper, aka the grilled cheese bubble waffle with tomato soup, and the pork and cheese takeaway. And I feel like someone else is going to talk about the grilled cheese, but I would like to specifically highlight the pork and cheese takeaway because it was basically like a little ham and cheese sandwich. But what made it great was the bread was pão de queijo, which is Brazilian cheese bread, which is, it's basically just like tapioca, starch, and cheese make it. And
like bread made of cheese.
Yeah, and you can buy it like at Costco and put it in your air fryer, or they sell them at the Brazil booth at Food and Wine. It's one of my favorite bites every year at Food and Wine. And they put a sandwich on it, and it was like amazing.
And there was a lot of really good ham on there. That was good ham.
Good salty ham, cheesy bread. It was awesome.
That grilled cheese tomato soup combo, with the official name for it, that was outstanding as well. That's in my honorable mentions. It's great.
And I love
perfectly flavored and toasted.
Yeah, it blew my mind that was a grilled cheese. Like when you bit into it, it really did taste like a buttery grilled cheese, even though it looked like a waffle kind of.
I agree.
But yeah, I'm realizing
Neither of those is on my list. Neither of those made my top 5.
Yeah, I'm
Same.
also realizing that 4 out of my top 5 are cheese based. So
Well,
there you go. You know,
at least you're on brand.
yeah, there you go.
Yes. All right, AJ, number 3.
Number 3, I'm sorry to steal this from you, Molly, because I know it's probably in your top 2, is the Cheeseburger Pod.
Oh yeah.
Like we had, like the Cheeseburger Pod did
I
not
get
make
it.
my top 2, but so there is a thing, Danger, called a Cheeseburger Pod that is in Animal Kingdom at Satuli Canteen and on Pandora. And it's basically a bao bun. It's actually Joe Rohde's family recipe. It's a bao bun with all the ingredients you would need for a cheeseburger inside it. So it's like a, cheeseburger or like burger, pickle, cheese, onions, ketchup, mustard, everything you would need just inside a bao bun. And it's delicious. It's on the kids. It was originally on the adult menu. Then they moved it just to the kids menu. Now it's back on the adult menu over at Satuli Canteen. Anyway, the brilliant chef Brian Pasecki decided we need the same thing on the Galactic Starcruiser. So they basically Molly spotted it the first night on the kids menu. She's like, I'm sorry, excuse me. This is a cheeseburger pod. What's it called, Molly?
It was
Cheddar?
called, I think, let me pull up the kids menu.
While you're pulling it up, when was this served? I don't remember this. Was it one of the
So it's on the kids menu both nights at dinner.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so while she's pulling that up, yeah, it's on the kids menu first night, both nights at dinner, and so it's a cheeseburger pod, truly delicious. I mean, it tastes just like a cheeseburger. This one, I think we decided had a little more cheese in it than the one at Satuli Canteen, so we actually like this one a little better than that one.
I have it pulled up. They call it the Ched Cheesy Beef Spiral Dumpling. And the reason it's so good, because I asked the chef at the media event, is it's that cheese sauce from the noodle cheese is the cheese
From the noodle
inside of
cheese.
it.
No way.
And he told me
Amazing.
that the real way to eat one is to get an extra side of the cheese and then dip it in there. So that is what I will be doing on my next venture onto the
Voyage.
Halcyon.
All right.
Because-
So we were super jazzed to find the cheeseburger pods, and so that's my number 3.
We didn't have that because every time it was a kid's meal, Mason's like, I'll take the pizza. So that's what we got every time.
Well, just a quick note too, though, is that because this is a cruise, all of your food is included, so you can order everything.
Which we did.
So we ordered the entire kids menu both nights. So that's
that was smart. That was a good call.
That's what we do, and
all
paid
right.
off.
And it
we
works. It works. I thought I tried almost everything, but apparently I did not. I'll have to keep that in mind. So my number 3 almost became my number 1 until a couple other things happened later at the lounge. But my number 3, Matt Martin said to me, "Have you tried the green beans?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Seriously, dude, try them. They're great. Crispy, dried green beans, comes with a little dipping sauce. If you take the green beans and you dip them in the cheese from my number 4, and it's a great combination. Molly, you got to try that when you go back on.
Will.
It's unbelievably delicious. But even by themselves, I mean, they're just dried out green beans, and they're great. They don't even taste healthy. They're probably not. But they're so good. Everyone in my family loved them. Every time we went in there, we were sure to get them. And like you mentioned, this is all part and parcel. Unless you're getting alcohol, everything is included. So you may as well get them. If you don't like them, then give them to somebody else because they're going to like them. They're very, very, very good. It was this between this one, my second, and my 1. They're all very, very close together. So I could have taken either of them in any order and been equally happy.
Yeah, those were good.
Yep.
The lounge bites.
Those were good.
Don't sleep on the lounge bites because they were all great.
No,
Honestly, the lounge bites is the best bang for your non-existent buck in the Starcruiser. Like, I think that's the best place to eat anywhere.
4 of the 5 things on my list are from the lounge. So
yeah.
I already know one. AJ's maybe number 1 is a lounge bite.
well, one of my number 1 is one that you all recommended to me. We'll get to that.
All right.
All right, Molly, back to you for the number 2.
All right. I did not think I would like this, but it's the meteor egg from breakfast day 3. So the second breakfast. And it's a soft boiled egg wrapped in sausage and then fried. It's basically a Scotch egg, but I don't like Scotch eggs that I've tried in the past. But whatever the batter is that they use to fry this in. Oh, I think AJ knows. Did you figure it out?
It literally says on the placard, cake batter.
Yeah, it tasted like funnel cake. I said that on camera. It
It
tasted
says
like funnel cake
batter. So I think it's funnel cake batter that they fry it in.
It has a little bit of sweetness to it. And then I love a runny egg. So you bite, I mean, it's so messy. It's like was all over me because I eat like a child anyway. But it is like egg yolk everywhere because it's a runny egg. And then you've got like a little bit of spicy sausage and then a little sweetness from that funnel cake batter. And it was awesome. I could have eaten 15 of them. They were so good.
I didn't know that was on the menu either. Was I on the same cruise as you too?
Breakfast day 2. I know it's like you're tired.
There's a lot of options.
Breakfast day 2, everybody looked like a zombie because, everyone was exhausted from this 2-day adventure and the, big event. And
it's like, Sammy, stop texting me. Jeez.
Yes.
Like I'm trying to eat eggs.
I know.
But it was.
Don't want to keep the stormtroopers from going in the brig, Sammy. Just let me eat my meteor egg.
It was so
Fair.
good.
That's good.
But notice,
I'm writing
just an
these things
FYI,
down.
they serve that with like a mustard sauce, which that killed it for me. I did not like the sauce on that one.
What
Fair.
you could do is you could ask them for one without the sauce. Now that you know, like
You could.
True.
if you don't, you could have said, "Hey, turmeric."
But you wouldn't have known if you hadn't listened to Coffee with Kenobi today.
That's right.
I think it said turmeric mustard or something. But yeah, it definitely had a mustard sauce, which I didn't mind. But
Mustard on a funnel cake, I don't know.
I don't like mustard in general, so I would definitely prefer
either.
it without the sauce.
Yeah, but as a pro tip to your listeners, if you see something that's sauced and you're thinking, I don't know about that, just ask them. They'll get you one without sauce.
Noted.
I run
Please
a
do.
Disney food blog, which means I have to try everything, including every single
We do.
drink on the lounge menu, every single drink on the dinner menu. And the first day was drink day, and we just tried them all. We had them all.
How am I supposed to make a video about everything you can eat and drink on the Starcruiser if I don't consume everything you can eat and drink on the Starcruiser?
Oh,
Right.
I think you need to. I mean, I
Okay.
tried to get as much as I had, but apparently I missed all the mustardy stuff. But I think that's why people like what you both do. And I think it's an
We
essential
try it all.
part of this.
That's
We're going to
part-
let you
That's
know
right.
what to spend your money on. Okay.
We're gonna let you know where to
Absolutely.
put your calories. What's worth
That's
it,
right.
what's not.
Where to put your calories. That's the hashtag. All right, AJ, you are next with your second. Number 2.
Okay, my number 2. I'm really surprised that we haven't yet just sort of
We're not overlapping.
repeated each other.
Well, the only one we did was the cheese. Molly and I both had that for number 4.
Yeah. Okay. So my number 2 are the chips and dip at the Subway Lounge.
I thought that'd be your number 1.
Yeah, no, it's not my the
Mustafar
spaghetti
tuber
cheese.
chips.
The noodle cheese was my number 1. Yeah, the Mustafar tuber chips, which are potato chips. By the way, anytime you see red fruit, it's a tomato. Anytime you see tuber, it's a potato. Just a heads up. There's a little tip. Okay. So these were these house-made chips, and they had I think it was a sriracha, like some sort of a spicy
It was.
thing going on top. And then this dipping sauce was so incredible, and it's plant-based, so there's no mayo in it, according to them, which I need to triple check that because it sure does taste like mayo. But it's what is the dip? What is it called?
I'm looking at it right now. It says they're dusted with a sriracha and charcoal vinegar. But I thought it was like a sriracha aioli was the dipping sauce. But not mayonnaise, because aioli's mayonnaise.
Right. Anyway, I'll find it. But those were incredible. That particular item in the lounge. And I didn't think I would like it because I was just like, well, if it's plant-based and you don't have any mayo, I'm not sure if it's going to be all that flavorful, but it was incredible. And that I started dipping those green beans into that too.
Yeah, they were.
But I literally, like, if you are getting on that cruise ship, please just go to Sublight Lounge and immediately order those chips and dip, because it is my number 2 most delicious thing to eat. on the entire ship. Let me see. What's it called? They are, sriracha and charcoal vinegar, but they're not even telling me what the dipping sauce is on here.
I was dipping those chips into the cheese as well. So just order everything in the lounge and dip all of it into the cheese, and you'll be good.
You can't go wrong. Well, I'm looking forward to your number one, AJ, because I know how much you liked that, and that's only your number two. My number two, I'm going to switch things up. I don't think any of us have done this yet. My number two is actually a drink. It is the Hoth Icebreaker.
So good.
It's vodka. Yeah. It's, of course, blue because it's supposed to be like Hoth. And then it's got like this lemony foam across the top of it. And it is magnificent. It was Deanna's favorite drink as well. I tried a lot of the drinks. And they were Disney, let's be clear, Disney hosted us. Like we were very well taken care of. And we got a bunch of drink coupons. So we used those babies up. And the last one I got was the Hoth Icebreaker, and it's fantastic. It also seems a little like it's got a little more alcohol in it, at least taste-wise, than some of the other drinks. You're just usually very sweet. And this one was, but you can definitely taste the vodka, and I thought it was great. It was refreshing. The presentation is magnificent. There's like some sort of a clear, snowflakey cookie thingy on top.
It's sugar. It's just sugar.
Yeah, and it's great. So that is number two on my list. It must be good if it came up higher on my list than the green beans, folks.
There you go.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's basically a lemon drop. So if you like lemon drops on Earth, then you will like.
I've never had a lemon drop, so
a lemon drop martini is what they said it was.
It's vodka, just a vodka-based lemon drink.
Huh. Noted. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to put my summer shandies down and try one of those.
You'll like it if you like summer shandies because that's a lemon beer.
I do.
Yeah, pretty much.
True.
Can I say my favorite drink then before my number one?
Of course.
I
guess we could have did a number of top drinks too, but
my favorite drink, and this surprised me, was the fiery Mustafarian. And I really liked the Pod Chaser, which was basically
with the lava that you pour on it.
Yeah. So I like bourbon drinks. So I thought the Pod Chaser, which is an old fashioned, would be my favorite. And it was a very good old fashioned. But I ended up liking the fiery Mustafarian because it was basically a spicy mezcal margarita. So they used mezcal, which is smoky. And then you get this little tube of like chili juice basically, and they
have it in the back in this thing, and they make a big production out of it.
Yeah, and they said pour as much or as little as you want to make it more or less spicy. And I love spicy, so I just dumped that whole thing right in there, and it was a really good spicy margarita. And you could taste the tequila and the mezcal, and it wasn't super sweet, and it looked really cool. And I was like, yeah, give me the souvenir cup. I want the cup, and it came in this cool like round orb that you have to balance on this. It was really, really good.
I had that, and I dumped the whole thing in there too gradually, and I didn't think it was spicy at all. I like spicy stuff. I thought it was great. It was really good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right, well, give us your number one.
Okay, my number one were the spiral dumplings from dinner night one, with a special shout out, as AJ pointed out, to the Ched cheese beef spiral dumpling, which is the Cheeseburger Pod, which I should say in Pandora, I eat them so frequently that the cast members welcomed me back. When I go to Pandora, they're like, oh, you're back again, Cheeseburger Pods? And I'm like, yes, that's how much I eat Cheeseburger Pods. But the spiral dumplings are the appetizer for your night one dinner. And there's a Bantha one, which is beef. There's a Tip Yip one, which is chicken. And then there's a Flora one, which is a plant-based. And then they come with 4 dipping sauces. And it's a choose your own adventure tale where you can mix and match. And I love sauce as well. So I loved that they came with, and all the sauces were great, range of flavors and spices. But I just thought they were really cool to look at because they're all different colors, and they come on this cool like bento box thing that they undo in your table. And then they were also incredibly delicious. So it was like a 10 for flavor, a 10 for presentation, a 10 for lots of sauce. So those were my number one.
But no cheese.
No cheese. It's the Cheeseburger Pod, the Cheeseburger one is, I'm counting the Cheeseburger Pod in here.
The spiral dumpling.
Yeah. If you're a spiral dumpling, I love you. But yeah, I thought the appetizer on night one was really cool.
That was good. It was good. That I didn't even think about adding that to the list. That's a good one too. All right, AJ, you're number one. What could be better than the tuber chips?
The noodle cheese, the spaghetti from the first lunch. So that was my number one, was the noodle cheese. But if you need a something else, because we already talked about the noodle cheese.
No, we didn't hear your description of it. So let's hear it. Why is it your number one?
Again, I love plastic cheese. Like if you put plastic cheese on anything, I will eat it. And that's spaghetti. And I'm not even a big fan of the weird square chicken that they do. Like the tip-yip weirds me out, because I'm like, chicken doesn't exist in this shape. To be fair, I will eat McDonald's chicken nuggets all day long, which
chicken exists in nugget shape.
Or a certain shape.
Wait, how do you feel about dinosaur nuggets? Or
like, listen, I'm not saying that there's actual theory behind this. I'm just saying a square plank of tip-yip chicken weirds me out. And I don't really love the taste or the flavor of it. But this spaghetti noodle cheese was excellent. And I think it was just hit right on the head on that one. I think
I recommended that to you that first night because you were sitting next to us.
Yeah. Yes, I was in that meeting.
Yes. By the way, how was the sitting at the captain's table? Is it worth it? What was that like?
I thought it would be worth it. It's $30, but you get a pour of champagne and a pour of white and a pour of red, which is nice to go with your meal. And then we got some little bites.
You get two little extra. You get an amuse-bouche. You get a palate chaser. The miso in a test tube was the palate chaser. And then you also get an extra kind of dish right before your dessert. So you get like 3 extra dishes.
And then you get a little extra dessert thing too. That there was like a chocolate that you mashed open and it had some
green stuff in it. Yeah. Yeah. I honestly would pay $30 for that all day long. I thought it was really fun. Now the captain only comes and sits there for a short time and then she leaves. So I don't know what that's all about. But she got things to do. She comes and she learns your name, and then, things happen at dinner, and then she's out. So, but for the extra food, the drink pours, and, feeling fancy sitting there in the middle of everybody, like that's cool. I'll pay $30 for that. I thought it was good.
I did too.
How was the wine? Was it just like a Pinot or what was it?
It was, if I were to look at the wine menu, I could have told you, but it was, they did champagne first, and they had these really pretty black and gold champagne flutes that I was obsessed with.
Did you see the coffee mugs they bring out? The black and gold coffee?
I didn't, but I wanted to smuggle one off because I love plates and dishes and setting the table. So I was like, where did they acquire these? What planet are these from?
Plates and dishes are the best. I'm a big fan of plates and dishes. Oh. Did you smuggle one off?
No, this was in the gift shop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get one of those.
Molly's going to buy one of those for me when she's...
I have a shopping
Molly
list.
has a long list of shopping to do when she's back on.
Are you going on the first one on Monday?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday. Oh, yeah. Today is still February.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I can't find the wine list right now. No, I think it was a fancy glass of red and a fancy glass of white. I think we announced it.
They were pretty small pours though. Like it wasn't like a 9-ounce glass of wine. It was like probably 3 ounces. I mean, it was real small.
Yeah.
Right. But still, that's kind of neat. All right. That's good. That's good to know. Because every time I looked over there, it didn't look any different from what was going on at our table. But our table was the first.
You definitely get extra stuff. You get extra stuff at it. So that's cool.
Cool.
And shout out to cast member Brian, who was our server at the captain's table, because he was awesome. And he was so good at explaining the food.
We were super sad the next day when we didn't have Brian, and so we yelled at him every time he passed that we missed him.
I was expecting to have the same servers every time, like on a cruise, but that definitely was not the case. At least not for the media cruise that we did. All right. Well, it's still my number one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
My number one was already mentioned. It's the only other overlap I have. This time I'm overlapping with AJ. My number one is the Mustafar tuber chips. I wouldn't have even noticed it, but you two said, Dan, try this. And so I did. And I immediately went over to Deanna and said, let's order this. She's like, yeah, let's do it. It's great. The chips were
good.
fantastic. They're crispy, just the right amount of texture to them. The sauce was great. I also dipped the green beans in that as well. And I absolutely loved it. In fact, had I known, I didn't have that till the very last night. Had I known, I would have gotten that every single time I walked through that door. Which is a lot of times.
Every day, every hour. I would have ordered a whole bunch of it and taken it back to the room and just eaten it by myself alone.
Would there have been room with all the cookies you smuggled that I didn't get to try?
There was a lot of cookies. Molly brought a laundry basket of
Literally
charcuterie and box of wine. We had a lot of food in our room, but I still would have brought those tuber chips back to the room.
They're so good. They're so good.
So
all right,
good.
so that now you have a great idea of things to try when you go on the Galactic Starcruiser. Any honorable mentions, ladies, that we didn't talk about? I have a really random one, but I think it's good.
I think my honorable mention might be I believe it was a Bantha steak first night.
Yeah.
Was it Bantha? It was a very good steak night one. So I might put that on there.
I liked the flatbread in the lounge. They just call it the little flatbread, but it's really good. They do a really good job with pizza there.
And you also, at least for our cruise, hopefully it will remain the same at the Sweets and Treats dessert party. I forgot about that. Cat Saka's Kettle.
It's the best popcorn in the world. I love it.
Thank you. We have
so good. You gotta have the sour and the spicy and the sweet at the same time. Otherwise, it just tastes like Fruit Loops.
No, I'm gonna say just skip it.
Yeah, AJ and I strongly disagree
on that.
But
strongly, but I will. I did do a DFB food hack at the Sweets and Treats. If you remember, Molly.
I do.
Do you remember? I don't know.
I do.
So there are those little brown butter chocolate chip cookies that they have. They have them for, I believe, lunch, but they also had them at the Sweets and Treats. And then they had what they called a amethyst cream or something, which is literally just whipped cream in a big spiral. But if you get the brown butter chocolate chip cookies and you put the amethyst cream in between and you put another cookie on top, so you have like a cookie sandwich or kind of a whoopie pie that's not a real whoopie pie because it's not cake. That was really good too. So use the amethyst cream as a dipping sauce for your cookies.
Yeah. Noted. And all of the muffins and all that kind of stuff. I thought all the breads. Really,
really they did a good job with the breads. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I should have asked you this: how would you, since you're theme park food aficionados, what letter grade would you give the Galactic Starcruiser's food overall?
I think I would give it an A.
Not an A+, but an A. That's still pretty good.
There's always room for improvement.
Fair. AJ?
I think I would.
Molly, you feel free to explain your grade if you want to.
I felt like there was enough variety aboard the ship, whether you were we didn't go with kids, and I know kids can be very picky, so I'm speaking from, my point of view, but I felt like there was enough familiar food as well as unusual food that was presented uniquely. And so I was surprised. I thought going in, the food would be a lot like Galaxy's Edge, which for the most part is take it or leave it for me. There's basically Cat Saka's Kettle is like the only thing I'm obsessed with in Galaxy's Edge. And I liked basically all the food and I loved a lot of things. So I was very surprised at how good the food was. So that's why I'd give it an A. Thought it was wide variety of flavors. A lot of it looked really cool. And I think you could please just about everybody with the food that you had.
Well said. You've done this before. I like it. AJ, overall letter grade?
I think I would give it a B, maybe a B-.
Okay.
Because you saw that a lot of us had the same 5 best things.
Well, so I think there are. You're not a math major, are you?
Well, no, I'm not. I've spoken to a lot of people. I feel like a lot of the same favorites are the favorites. But I am a mom of a picky eater. I am a picky eater, which is shocking because why do I have a Disney food blog? But I do think that picky eaters would have a hard time here. they'd probably be eating the same things over and over again, which is okay. But they also have presented familiar things in unfamiliar ways, which for children who are picky, that's not going to work. Like, I understand that the spaghetti and the cheese is mac and cheese, but your kid doesn't know that's mac and cheese. And if it doesn't look like what they recognize, then that's why I thought the first night kids dinner had a regular cheese, a puffy cheese pizza, regular Disney puffy cheese pizza, which is what kids are going to like. And they're going to get that. They're going to understand that. It's going to make sense. But I do kind of feel like for picky eaters, it's going to be hard, and you're going to have to sort of change your mindset of what this is going to taste like. So I'm going to give it a B minus. There was definitely stuff on there that I don't want again, and I wouldn't have probably paid for it to buy it. So yeah.
Fair enough. See, Mason's certainly not picky. He likes everything, but he was very happy. My wife and I have, so my wife likes to dine. She likes the experience. She likes the presentation, which is certainly outstanding on this ship. And she was very happy with it. I'd ask her for an overall letter grade. I should do that. But for me, I just like to be full. That's my goal, to be full. And I was full the whole time. I would probably give this A minus, a B plus overall, because it's not like there's stuff there that I'm craving besides the 5 things that I mentioned. But I didn't leave thinking, oh, I can't wait to eat McDonald's. Well, I don't feel like that because I'm not 12. So I think that it was fun and I enjoyed it. And one of the things I will be looking forward to is the things on my list. And I'm certainly going to try the things that 2 of you mentioned as well. But I feel like you'll leave happy and full, and those are important things.
Yeah. And I'd like to mention, like, I didn't.
Oh, I do have honorable mentions too.
I didn't dislike much, which I think is part of the reason I gave it. There was a lot of things, obviously I had favorites, but there were very few things I actively didn't like. And they were things like shrimp cocktail that I don't like on Earth. So I'm certainly not going to like it when it's blue in space.
I ate it, but my wife says you'll eat anything if it says Star Wars. That's true.
I don't like shrimp cocktail, regular colored shrimp cocktail. Yeah. So there was very few things that I didn't care for. And it was stuff that I don't like in general. It's not like they made a bad version of something I normally would enjoy.
Right. I like the avocado toast thingy, whatever that was called. That was very good. And I also liked, it seems very like ordinary, but I like the waffles. I mean, it's because they had the chandelier.
You can't go wrong with the...
There was something, I mean, I'm normally not a big waffle person. They're just pancakey, but I really thought this tasted a little bit different. And I don't know if it's just in my brain because of the cool symbol on it, but I really liked it. It's,
to my knowledge, the same batter as a Mickey waffle, which are
that's why I like it.
Scientifically proven to be the best waffles in the world.
They're swell. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a malted milk mix in them, which is why they taste so good. And you can make them yourself. You can buy it on Amazon.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's called Golden Malted.
Golden Malted. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to definitely look into it. Well, another thing I'm looking forward to is chatting with the both of you again on Coffee with Kenobi and wherever our paths may cross in the Disney future. But Molly, before we let you go, first of all, thank you both so much for being on Coffee with Kenobi.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Although you don't really drink coffee, so I think it's all a sham.
No, I do.
Well, I didn't see you drink any coffee this whole time.
Well, this is actually Coke Zero. By the way, I am so excited. You guys have been to Disney a lot more than me. I'm so excited that Coke Zero is a fountain drink option. That's the greatest. I haven't had that more than the green milk, which I like the green milk. So that was surprising.
I feel like the most underrated thing on the whole ship is the all you can enjoy sparkling water in the lobby, because I drink like 15 LaCroix a day. So the fact that I could just get as much bubbly water as I wanted, whenever I wanted.
That's pretty much all you need to know about Molly, is that she drinks 15 bubbly waters.
It's that
all of your listeners just turned off the podcast.
That and 10 gallons of iced coffee are what fuel me through my life. So they could do coffee in space. They need better space coffee. That's
called CAF. It's called CAF.
Well, they need iced
CAF.
CAF.
It's called CAF and then decaf CAF.
They need iced CAF. I had to smuggle my own on board.
So that's why those
Yeah.
alarms went off. I thought it was because
Yeah.
of the first order. Apparently that
No,
was wrong. Well,
it
Molly,
was-
please let everybody know where they can find everything you've got going on online with allears.net and wherever people can reach out to you if they want to ask you any questions about the Galactic Starcruiser or Disney food in general.
Yeah, so our website is allears.net. We've got every planning tip you'll ever need for Disney World, Universal, Disneyland. All of our social and our YouTube is allearsnet, one word. So if you go check that out, you'll see my face quite a bit. And feel free to send us a message on there, on Instagram if you have any questions. And check out our YouTube videos covering the Galactic Starcruiser.
And their coverage has been amazing. Really
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
You bet. AJ, what about you?
Well, you can find me on YouTube at DFB Guide. You can find me at DisneyFoodBlog.com, Disney Food Blog on all social platforms. And if you're going to Disney World for the first time or the 50th time, pick up our guidebook at DFBstore.com. It is 1,000,000 pages long and has every single thing I know about Disney World.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.